So what do you feel like the team learned from Orlando?
Um, I think they learned that we got a chance to be pretty good. Um, and what you do in these early season tournaments is you try to confirm some of the things that you believe you could do by playing against really good competition for 3 or 4 days or whatever it is. And you also start to create somewhat of an identity as a team. And I think both of those things happen. I think we left there feeling good that that we can be pretty good. Not overconfident though, because we did have a 20-point loss in there mixed in to a really good team, and we're starting to figure out which pieces, kind of how they work together, and who's going to step up and do what as the season goes along.
You lose that game to Villanova, and then 2 days later being LSU. How important was that sort of, I guess, validation maybe that you're going in the right direction?
I actually felt pretty validated, as strange as it sounds, after losing that game. And not that we lost. Losing didn't make me feel good. The way we played, that's a really, really well-established program. Jay Wright's been there since 2001, and the only reason I know that is because he recruited me in 1999 and was at Hofstra for one more year before he went to Villanova. So 17 years in the making, 2 national championships, but it wasn't like this in the beginning. And we've talked a few times since we played, and a couple times down there, and hearing from him and other guys who I respect well that he sees some of the things that we're doing and feels like we're moving in the right direction. And it's really those are things that confirm kind of what I believe in.
What was it? I think you said something about race whenever in your recruitment process. I think they said that on the.
Yeah, he didn't race me. A guy named Tom Pecora, who was his top assistant and who recruited me, who actually took Jay's place as the head coach at Hofstra. He raced me as a high school track. It's a high school across my street from my house where I grew up. There's a track on that field. I used to go there and train. And he came over and raced me one day. They also showed up with a car at my high school one day to make people think they got me a car. They did not give me a car. But it was pretty cool. I walked out of school at about, 2:15. I left my last class about 2:15 that day. And all my friends are running up to me like, man, it's cool. Congratulations, you're going to Hofstra. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to Hofstra. I'm like, well, everybody thinks you're going to Hofstra. So I walk outside, and Tom Pecora is leaning up against a car with a big sign on it that says, Hofstra loves Mike Boynton on the front of it. You can't do that anymore, I don't think, but it was pretty cool. Everybody thought they got me a car. They didn't. I didn't go there, but it wasn't because someone else got me a car either, by the way.
How did they take it when you chose to not go there?
It's interesting. They actually took another commitment before I made my decision. So it was a fairly mutual kind of parting in that recruitment. But if I hadn't gone to South Carolina, I probably would have wanted to go play for Jay and Tom at Hofstra.
What was it like to see have that breakout game in the first game of the tournament?
It was good. It wasn't really surprising to me. Again, the other thing is you get a lot of eyes on your team early on, and so I think maybe some more nationally people recognize that we got some young guys that are pretty good. Because he had some really good moments. Obviously, Ice almost getting a triple-double in our last game shows that some of these guys we brought in here are pretty good. They do have some potential, and I look forward to coaching them. But I see that from him pretty consistently. So I was pretty pleased that he put it in the game.
That instinct, that shot blocking instinct, is that something you've seen throughout the recruiting process?
Yeah. I may have mentioned this. I mean, I think he's going to challenge. I don't even know what the record is. I think he's going to challenge for it. Season to season, career-wise, game-wise. As long as he's here, that's kind of his most natural talent is as a shot blocker, and it's a unique asset to have because one of the ways you struggle defensively is not being able to defend in the paint. And when you have a guy, even if he doesn't block a shot, psychologically teams talk about him as a shot blocker, and it changes the way they prepare for you. When you don't have a guy like that in there, it makes people more apt to drive in, and we got to keep him out of foul trouble. He's averaging 7.6 fouls per 40 minutes, and so he's not getting to play as much as maybe he should because, most freshmen do, he fouls very, very frequently right now, and we got to help him understand how to keep himself out of trouble that way.
I know you were talking to me about how when he did that first summer practice, he was kind of got tired easily, just wanted it to end. From that first summer practice until now, how have you seen him grow and build that toughness?
Yeah, well, it's just learning. I mean, they've never been asked to work hard the way they're asked to work hard here. And they've been asked to work hard before, and they all think that they're ready when they come, and none of them are. Even the most prepared freshman struggles when they get here because then, yesterday doesn't matter, and what you did in Sunday's game won't help us win this coming Friday. So really just being able to do it consistently is what really gets freshmen. I mean, Luke Major, who made it 3 already this year, literally didn't hit the rim the first day of practice once. He shot air balls all game, all practice long. And some of you guys might have been there, and now he's a guy we feel confident in putting in real games because the process of work and believing in what we're doing definitely pays off over time.
What did you see in Mike Cunningham playing in his first game?
Kind of what I expected, to be honest. It's the reason I didn't ever, stress about him. He's an older guy, and that's one of the things you feel like if you got the right kind of kids, you can trust them telling you the truth and how they feel. And for a while he just wasn't ready. When he was, he had an opportunity, and obviously we're going to rely on his experience and his talent. He can really shoot the basketball, and we look forward to him continuing to bring an asset to us.
Is that veteran experience, is that kind of one of the bigger things that he brings to this team? This
Yeah.
year's team?
I mean, he's really competitive. There's a different sense of urgency probably with him. So for a lot of these guys, there's 100 more games. Every game he plays, it's closer to the end, in terms of college experience. So probably takes it a little bit more, I don't know the word, with a little bit more seriousness, understanding, and especially when you get injured, right? At this point in your career, you really worry about how much longer you're going to be able to do it. So also just a maturity, a sense of urgency, and understanding of what it takes to have success. Because although he didn't win a ton of games, he did have some individual success, and he knows that those two things aren't always the same. And so he understands how to also find himself within our team, but that it's totally about being committed to the game plan.
How did you see the team be able to reset after that Villanova loss? Because with a young team, it can be a little worrying maybe if they're going to bounce back.
Yeah, well, we were able to kind of get them together a little bit. And really what we talked about wasn't that they made 16 threes. We certainly could have defended them better. I mean, they shot 40 of them. I'm not sure what kind of columns would be written about me if I let my team shoot 43s, but they shot 43s. And I'll be honest, I went back and watched the film. I'm not sure how many bad ones they took. They took 40 quality shots. It's hard to do. But what it was is because they have an identity, and everybody within their organization embraces that identity. They're walk-ons who never get in the game. They're the best cheerleaders I've seen. Every huddle that they have is tight. So those are the things that we talked about as we build this thing the way we feel like it should be built for longevity and for sustainability over time. Is just the intangible things that carry over. The loss hurt, and it should have. It was embarrassing on national TV to lose by 20, but we had made progress. We competed literally for every minute of that game. We didn't make enough shots, didn't get enough stops, and those are correctable things, but those other things that we can get better at, the teamship, the continuity with bench decorum and all that stuff, we got a chance to build something special.
You've got a young team, but you're still a young coach. How much are you still trying to pick things up and learn things as you're doing this?
Every day. It's not easy because you want to have your hands, you want to know the final what everything's going to look like at the end now, but that's not reality. One thing I've always been able to be is patient and confident at the same time in what we're doing. I had to go recruiting yesterday, but I got 2 head coaches here, so I missed practice because I can. And recruiting's important, practice is important. We can do both because we got the right people around, and that's the thing that makes my job probably the easiest, as easy as it can be. Is I've got an unbelievable staff from to a man. We got guys of high character who work really hard, who know what it takes to have success at this level, know how to communicate with kids, and I feel very confident in their ability to help me as I continue to grow in this profession.
What are some of the keys for you guys looking ahead at Minnesota?
The first thing that jumps out at you is they have a guy who's the best defensive rebounder in the country, literally #1 in defensive rebounding. He also is like top 20 in fouls drawn, and he's an inside guy. So playing against a bunch of freshmen who are foul prone, that's a concern. Can we keep him under control without fouling him 100 times? you know, um, you know, their team, who's probably going to play with a fair amount of sense of urgency themselves, just coming off their first loss, they turn around and play their first conference game Sunday on the road. So this is the game I'm sure that they're going to play with a heightened sense of urgency with, and we have to make sure that we play at that same level of intensity on the road. But at the end of the day, it's really still about getting better. We got to find a way to improve off of, rebounding the ball, which we haven't done very well so far. And then being more consistent offensively. We still have lulls. We had one in the first half the other day, but we got to have a little bit more consistent, because we've been a pretty productive offensive team, efficiency-wise, but turnovers and rebounding have hurt us, and we got to correct those things before Friday.
Thomas is shooting like 60% from 3 right now. How much is getting Weathers and Cunningham back going to help him as things go forward? Because teams are certainly more aware of him now than maybe they were 6 games ago.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, having Weathers and likely 2 guys who can force help. They can make a second defender have to commit to him. Has made his job easier. Having Lindy and Cam shoot the ball well tends to make it where there's not as much help you can take from him. And then, in a couple of weeks, we'll get another guy who can make shots, and that'll help. And then as we continue to develop our big guys, we see something that's really develop into something that we think can be fun to watch, but also very productive on the floor, because we'll have a lot of offensive weaponry. And like the other day, Thomas didn't get as many shots off because they stopped leaving him. Yo got 3 baskets because his man was in the ball screen, and usually Thomas's man is responsible for the help, and he just didn't do it. And I don't know if that was part of the strategy to not give up a 3, maybe give up a 2, but that's an effect of having a really, really high-level shooter on the floor.
Cam had a pretty acrobatic layup there at the end of that LSU game. He rolled his ankle pretty bad. Have you ever seen somebody just get up like they're okay after an ankle roll that bad?
Cam? I've seen Cam do it. I never did it. I used to probably roll on the floor and act like I was dead for a little bit, but no, I mean that's what I expect. He's been around the block. He went on the other end and hit the floor again, and it took him about 3.5 seconds to get back up the second time. His mom keeps asking me how do I keep him off the floor, and I have to find an answer for her soon, so she doesn't get on me about her son being a little banged up.
Watching that replay in slow motion was kind of gruesome.
Yes, it's a very dangerous play. Very dangerous.
Have you guys been putting a bigger emphasis on him in 3-pointers?
Nope. You get to shoot all the shots you practice, and outside of Desagua and Weathers and Curtis Jones, nobody shot more 3s this summer than Cam. He worked at it, and he's earned the opportunity to go out and now shoot the shots that he shot all summer and worked on, and it's helped him, it's helped our team. So it's not necessarily an emphasis of mine. Travis hadn't shot many 3s in practice, so you won't see him shooting any of the game. If he spends all summer making 3s next summer, not shooting them, making them, then maybe you'll see that in his repertoire next season. But guys get to shoot the shots they practice. It's really that simple. I'm all about confidence on the offensive end, and sometimes from my mentors get questions about the shot selection of my team, and that's okay because they coached it a little bit differently. But I tell them the last thing I want our guys to do is second guess themselves on the offensive end. You can't play this game without confidence, and we try to feed that to them every day. And on the defensive end, it's a little bit more non-negotiable, but offensively, we give them a little bit more freedom.
Dick Vitale said he had a better chance of growing hair than you guys finishing last in the Big 12. He was also a pretty vocal supporter of you guys getting into the tournament last year. Is that kind of a nice source of validation to know that you're in the right direction?
Yeah, I don't know if I heard that comment about growing hair, though. That was a little bit different.
During the Memphis broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, we believe in what we do. I mean, I appreciate that. He obviously is well respected in our profession. Somebody's been around basketball for a long time. Obviously got to see us for 3 days down there. And so what we got to do is keep focusing on getting better. We're not a finished product. We're not close to what I hope we'll be in even 3 weeks from now, let alone 2 months from now. So if our guys continue to stay focused on that instead of what they hear about what they're doing now, then we'll have a chance to maybe accomplish some of those things.
Chico is a guy who's played against Minnesota before. Has he said anything about what that was like?
No, honestly, and this will probably be just kind of, I don't know, naive on my part. I didn't even know that until you said it. I try not to really pay attention to things like that. I don't know how relevant that is. I got so many new guys that don't know anything. I'll have to remind them that it's cold in Minnesota. Like when we went to Florida last week, it was 80 degrees, you know. So Duncan and Thomas were in heaven at home, and tomorrow we'll have to make sure we got hats and gloves and scarves because they're like, they're like toddlers sometimes.
What was your favorite part of the Orlando trip off the court? Was there anything fun?
Just having, a lot of staff and families went, so just being able to still spend Thanksgiving with each other. And I didn't go to the park, so I can't say that, but I'm glad the guys got to enjoy that.
What appealed to you about this game, playing it in the Viking Stadium and being a part of that?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's by accident, man. I want these guys to embrace those type of environments. Our goal is to win a national championship. I'm not afraid to say that. So you play in a place like that when you do that. We'll see. Go up there and see if we can still make some shots in the dome. And if we can't, we'll figure it out for the next time we're there. Hopefully, it's in the Final Four.